The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good after the Mind Flare ship. But you just can't get enough of me, can you?
Karlach, Advocatus Diaboli, the stink of Avernus.
You'd better lower the blade if you know what's good for you.
You ally with an Archdevil's chosen, and...
A great fire roars through you, the fire of the first hell. You are the Blade of Frontiers, racing through the wastes of Avernus. Just ahead, a diabolical figure, red skin, single-curled horn, blazes with flame, bloodied great axe held high. He chases the fiend, ignited with rancor. She is an infernal war devil, a threat to the living, evil incarnate.
Your ally's a fraud, a soldier in the Archdevil Zariel's army. Either I cut her down, or she burns the Sword Coast to ash.
I've tried to tell you. I am not what you think I am. I'm...
Another vision. Karlach's blade raised, slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. The man shudders with Karlach's desperation. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
By Baldur's helm, No! I will not be tricked!
You saw the truth. I may be an effective soldier, but I never wanted to serve Zariel. Legged it away from her the first chance I got.
And yet you served.
The only one dying tonight is the Blade of Frontiers.
How about we all take a nice deep breath and calm the fuck down? Just because I want to live doesn't mean I want him dead.
Fine. But he needs to stand down. We saw the truth for ourselves.
The man catches his breath and his lips straighten. Sheer dread twists his face.
No! Devils cannot be trusted!
You saw Karlach's thoughts. She poses no threat to the Sword Coast.
Would you listen to sense? This doesn't have to end badly. For either of us. You know monsters, right? Better than anyone. Look into my eyes. Can't you see I'm not what you think?
Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today. Truce?
I'll do you one better. Allies. We're looking to get rid of these parasites for good. And ruin some bastards' days while we're at it. Sounds like your kind of venture.
I've not grown any tentacles yet, thank Baldur. But luck won't be on our side forever. Yes, you have my blade. Your leader willing, of course.
Well, soldier, what's the word?
I'll consider it. How do I know I can trust you?
Let my deeds to come prove my worth. I've pledged my life to protecting the meek from monsters. But tonight, I was the rampaging beast.
All right. But you're both out of here at the first sign of trouble.
Everyone on this team is nothing but trouble. But I'm sure we can all agree to keep it down to a simmer.
Well met. And 1,000 sorries. I see the good in you, Karlach. I promise not to lose sight of it, even when the hells burn hottest.
The famous Blade of Frontiers in the flesh. Clever, this hero act you've got going.
Hero, Blade, names strangers gave me. My friends call me Wyll.
Excellent. If we ever become friends, I'll know what to call you.
Will's brows furrow as your minds connect. He sees the burning embers of Joaquin's rest, then Floric's face as she tells you of Ravengard's abduction.
Hells! Older Ravengard's been taken.
You must know the man, judging by the concern in your voice.
I know him better than most. He's my father. I know I haven't said. Our relation was no matter of pride, not least for him.
So, I'm not interested in your lineage.
Ignore my past all you want, but my past is not about to ignore me. Put plainly, I'm not about to let these drow go unpunished for taking my father. What makes a Duke of Baldur's Gate so interesting to the drow? Even the houses of Men's Oberanzen would have little use for my father. No, this is no drow plot. These absolute nutters, these true souls are behind his abduction. His absence alone will sow chaos in the city. If they were to infect him, he could lead Baldur's Gate to ruin. All the more reason to find him. The Absolute has seized not just my father, but the future of the Sword Coast.
We just met. Let's talk about something else.
I'm all for it.
Tell me, Wyll, how did you come to be the Blade of Frontiers?
My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. After my exile, I was hunting near the Cloakwood. I heard a child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after.
And he named you the Blade of Frontiers.
No, but he named me friend, and that meant the world. But what of the others? The children never saved, the cries never heard. In the boy's tears, I finally saw the suffering wrought by the villains of the wild. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded.
Is that how you lost your eye? In the goblin battle?
It was an even bloodier day, and a stronger foe. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
We'll check in with everyone while we're at it.
I've known a few warlocks in my time. Talented, of course, though sometimes too eager to listen to the devils on their shoulders. Comes with the territory, unfortunately.
Glad Wyll saw sense. Even more glad he decided to stick around. Takes a pretty slick mover to track down old Karlach.
I'm keeping an eye on him. If he turns on you again, he's dead.
He won't. Someone wrong-footed him about me, and I'm betting we'll find out who before long. I respect someone who can admit when they're wrong, and stick around after, too. Plus, did you see his eye? Bet there's a good story there.
the Blade of Frontiers. Let's hope Wyll lives up to his name. We'll need all the help we can get.
So, we're traveling with the famed Blade of Frontiers. I feel safer already.
The Githyanki people have a word for men like the Blade of Frontiers. Shalak. Roughly translated, idealist do-gooder. Or better yet, benevolent burden. His confidence is an asset. His pursuit of valor, not so much.
I wanted to talk to you about the dragon rider we met.
Your skull trembles, your parasite wriggles. Lae'zel sees your memories of your confrontation with Kithrak Voss.
Voss, Gestil Kithrak, Knight Supreme, an honorable warrior, Vlakith's finest. I am impressed. He wanted your head, yet it remains firmly atop your shoulders. A lesser person would be adorning the road as a shredded corpse.
The knight seeks a weapon. It's the artifact we carry.
As I'd expect, ancient Githyanki symbols adorn the artifact's face. We can deliver it to a Kithrak or Vash at the first opportunity. Now, to the point. The creche is not far from where you met Voss. We must go there immediately. Unless, of course, you'd rather sprout waxy tendrils where there were no tendrils before.
And if Kithrak Voss finds us before then?
Keep me at your side, and I will invoke protocol. It is my people's duty to aid infected Githyanki. Had I been traveling with you, we might have avoided the Knight's fury.
Do you really know that much about mind flayers?
I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less.
Do you know what happens if we don't find a cure?
Yes, in great detail. It starts with a fever and memory loss. Then you start to hallucinate. Your hair falls out, and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a mind flayer is born.
None of these seem right. I don't think Nyxx is afraid, just kind of accepting. But also not optimistic. So, we're just gonna nod and leave. And look who it is. Oh, of course we're gonna pet him. Okay, I'm gonna get everybody suited up and we'll head out.
A question. for our master monster hunter. How would you approach killing a vampire?
To start, lure it into the sun, drive a stake through its heart. Why?
Just curious. That
over
might be
there.
worth a look.
My, what manner of place is this? A path to redemption? Or a road to damnation? Hard to say, for your journey is just beginning. What would suit the occasion? The words to a lullaby, perhaps. The mouse smiled brightly. It outfoxed the cat. Then down came the claw. And that? Love. Was that? They do know how to write them in Cormier, don't they? Well met, I am Raphael. Very much at your service. It's not every day one meets such a cavalier sinner as yourself. A true, bloody pleasure.
Walk away while you still have legs to walk with.
It looks like a drow, but it speaks like a beast. Must be the surroundings, rather bleak and lonesome. One feels so exposed. This quaint little scene is decidedly too middle of nowhere for my tastes. Come. There, middle of somewhere.
I don't like this at all.
Tut, tut. No need for that crude cutlery of yours. As you can see, I'm amply provisioned. This is the House of Hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed lavishly. Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last.
Are these theatrics leading somewhere?
Are you not entertained? Well, far be it from me to disappoint. What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do.
Fuck. A Cambion.
Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain. My, aren't you a nervous one? I assure you I'm here to help, not harm. Consider your predicament. One skull, 2 tenants, and no solution in sight. I could fix it all, like that.
Then fix it, or die at my hand.
Yes. I like it when my clients put up a fight, only to realize victory was never an option. Try to cure yourself, shop around, beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair, that's when you'll come knocking on my door. Hope. Such a tease.
That's what separates us from the devils, soldier. They think our greatest strength is a weakness.
I'll rip out your mocking tongue.
Ah, yes, the tongue. Yet another piece of pleasurable anatomy you'll soon have to do without. All those pretty little symptoms, sundering skin, dissolving guts, they haven't manifested yet, have they? One might say you're a paragon of luck. I'll be there when it runs out.
Let's talk to everybody about what just happened.
The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think?
Spare me the parables. I've no intention of bargaining with the likes of him.
That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with. And then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure. But the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
Can't believe that devil just took us into the hells with a snap of his fingers. If I see him again, I'll wring his neck.
I'd enjoy watching that.
I knew I liked you. Raphael was his name, right? He's trying to lure us into a game he knows we can't win. I'm not playing. Glad you're not either.
How did you end up with such a contraption in your chest?
The year, 10 air. The place, sleepy little town called Baldur's Gate. Our hero, Karlach, a knock-knee delinquent from the outer city with everything to give and nothing to lose. I was a kid looking for a way to fill my days and make some cash when I fell into the wrong crowd. Worked for a guy I respected. A lot. Turns out the feeling wasn't mutual. Through the jigs and the reels, he made a deal with Zariel behind my back. You know Zariel, right? Archdevil of Avernus. She put this thing in my chest and set me to work. Well, to war. I learned quick how to stay alive. And the engine served me when it came to killing devils. 10 years of that. The stories I could tell.
You mentioned a boss who gave you up to Zariel. Who was it?
Guy named Gortash. Politician. Inventor. One of these wheeler-dealer types who seems to have a finger in every pie. I guess I was naive to think everything he got up to was above board. What did I know? I saw a job, a good job, with people I liked, doing work I was good at. Sometimes I'm jealous of that girl. Ugh, to feel so invincible again.
So what does the infernal engine do to you?
Gives me energy. Power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close.
What's that been like?
Agonizing. God's what I wouldn't give for a hug. A pat. Anything. You've never met anyone so desperate for a hug as this one right here. Pathetic perhaps, but true. It's my lot to bear, and I bear it badly. Ah well. Can't have it all, can you? Not today, at least.
Now there's a bloody devil trailing after us. Well, this gets better and better. Shop around, he said. He seems sure we won't find anything. And he might be right. We've had no luck so far.
He's not. We still have options.
Maybe. But all that, take your time, I'll wait nonsense. He's playing with us. He reminds me of, well, someone I used to know. Someone that liked to play with people. Creatures like them don't play games unless they know they can win.
We're not his playthings. We'll show him that.
Maybe. But he's not the only one spinning a web for us. This is no ordinary Mind Flayer parasite. Who tampered with it, and why? What do they have planned for us? And why are we important enough that a devil comes knocking on our door? If we find those answers, we might have a chance.